welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. My name is Diane, and today is March 11th, 2018. It is a Sunday afternoon. I'm so excited to be chatting with you today. I don't have very much by the way of knitting goes, and I also am going to postpone by 1 week the normal Get Suburban and Rainbow Along prize announcements. And the reason for that is because I haven't done them. I wish I had a grand reason other than I don't have them. But today I am going to be talking with you about a little bit of knitting that I've done. I have one finished object that I am very proud of on the mannequin. And I also have a little bit of talking about the retreat that I was on last weekend. So let's just settle in. I am actually going to settle in myself. I have just some lovely things to chat about with you. As I said, I have finished one object, and that is my Suburban Wrap. I absolutely love it. I will put some photos in, maybe some video or something of me wearing it, but it is just one of the most beautiful things that I've made. It was one of the most addictive things to knit. Do not look at my speed of knitting as an example of how much fun it is. I just have no time because of dyeing all the yarn. But it was so enjoyable. I absolutely loved every minute of it. I used 3 Suburban Stitcher single sock yarns, and the colors were, this green is called Ballard. This cream white is called Overcast. It's actually, I won't even say a cream, that's the wrong word. This neutral to bluish gray is called Overcast. And then the blue, that's this kind of main blue in it. My eyes are crossing, so I'm looking at the camera, the screen, to make sure I'm pointing at the right thing. This blue is called Clean Slate because it's a gorgeous slate blue color. So I just cannot say enough lovely things about it. The pattern was actually released yesterday on Ravelry, so you can go out and go purchase your own kit, or you can purchase your shawl, but then you could also go to my shop and purchase a kit. You can get a kit that is in these blues and greens, just like I made it. You can also get, reach over here. You can also get a kit that is in the original pattern colors, which is in doily and coal, and then the accent color is Predictability. It's this pinky purple mauvey color. So I just am so excited about this. It was so fun to work with my friend Hohi on collaborating with the yarn, and she sort of gave me a hint of what might be happening with this yarn and with her design, and it was a million times better than I ever dreamed it could be. So one thing that I especially was excited about is I think most people will say that they don't love knitting scarves, and whether that's because a lot of people learn to knit a garter stitch scarf as their first project and then they sort of outgrow that and they don't like scarves, whether it's such a long piece of knitting on a narrow space or whatever. Like, I just had it in my head that a wrap was not for me. This changed all of my opinions about that shape of garment accessory. Not garment, it's an accessory. It stays the same width throughout the chart, so it does not get wider or smaller. It is arrow shaped so that you can see It has 2 points, or like a chevron shape throughout the whole thing. I will take it off of here so you can see. Even though I styled this lovely lady a little bit, I'll take it off so that I can talk about what I'm talking about. So you start at one end, and your increases and decreases create this chevron shape so that you get this kind of point at one end, and then, or the 2 points at one end, and then at this end you get 1 point. I love everything about this. One thing that I did that wasn't specified in the pattern, and I'm happy I did it because I was able to block it really nicely, is I did a invisible ribbed bind off for this ribbed edge. I wanted this to be able to stretch and block out as much as possible, and as you can see, it did. So it blocked very nicely, and it still has a lovely drape. There's absolutely no tightness or snugness right there, which sometimes you can get on a bind off. I love this so much, you guys. I absolutely love it. So yeah, so you can go to my shop and purchase a kit. You can go purchase the pattern if you haven't already. And I think we should do a knit along, right? I totally think we should. We need to have a Suburban Wrap knit along, maybe in April, to give everyone plenty of time to gather their yarn, purchase a kit. It'll get to you. Maybe we'll start that at the beginning of April, and it'll go a couple of months because it will. Because I want everyone to have lots of time to knit and complete. So I think we should definitely have a knit along. What do you say? Let's say yes. Yeah, it's so versatile. I know this is going to be backwards, but you can wear it easily over your shoulders, and it still is very long. You can also do this and have it like this, and you still have quite a bit of length, like that. And then you can also wear it like this. I could see me wearing it like this quite a bit, just in this like wrapped up, cozy. And I could even see if you have a coat and you really need to bundle up, then you're all snug in here. You could like do it to the side. There's so many ways to style this thing. I love it. So that is the Suburban Wrap, and it's by Joji Locatelli, and I'm going to stop talking about it now, I promise. As far as other knitting, there has not been a lot. One work in progress that I showed you last week, and I've done a little bit of work on, but again, I just finished that a couple of days ago, so it has just barely any knitting time, and what knitting time I had was the wrap. But I have picked up yesterday, again, my gelato. And this is a pattern by Vera Valimaki. And it is a beautiful 3-color shawl. Very, very long and shallow. There's a cute picture. So that is the shawl. I have just started adding in the second color and some stripes. So let's see if I can find the right side and show you. My stripes are going to be very tonal and very subtle. So you can see, yeah, there they are, showing up a little bit better on the camera, I think, than they do in real life, which is pretty typical. So my main color up here is Hedgehog Fibers in the Skinny Singles, and this is Seed. And then my stripe color is called Northern Mud. It's also a single ply fingering weight yarn, and it is from Lavender Loon. And then my third color, which will be a little bit of time, before this gets added in. But the third color is called Grunge Parlor. And it's these gorgeous pinky, purpley mauves and plums and golds. And again, those are all by Lavender Loon Yarn Co., who you know I absolutely love. And this is, of course, in my fringe field bag from La Bien-Aimée. I have collected some new pins lately. I have pins on both sides. And if you have any questions about where, oh, and this is a patch from my LYS that I sewed on, but this is called Craft Badge. It's on Instagram, Craft Badge. And if you have questions about any of my pins and want to know where I got them, you just message me on, you know, comment on YouTube or something, and I'll be glad to let you know where I got them. So this is, oh, and I'm knitting this on what it calls for, which is a size 7 needle, and these are my signatures. I just love signature needles when I can knit on them. I really do enjoy them. So that is that. My fringe bag is maybe about a year old, and it's so lovely and broken in. Almost, and maybe it's the weight of the pins, but it's almost a little too broken in. So I think that maybe one of these days I might invest in the waxed canvas. I think it's a camo print, one of their waxed canvas bags, and then leave that one pin free to have one that's a little more stable. But I mean, you just can't resist pinning all the things, right? So that is a work in progress. And then I have one work in progress that has actually not gotten attention in a month or, well, let's say several months, actually, if we're being honest. But I haven't ever showed it to you. And the reason I haven't showed it to you is because it was a super, super secret test knit for Hohi. And it was a pattern that has just newly been released in the Interpretations Volume 5. So as I have talked about many times, I am very fortunate to be friends with Hohi, and I met her for the first time in November in Edmonton, Canada, at the Ann Budd Knit for Fun retreat. And of course, it was wonderful. You know, when you have a friend that you have never met in real life and then you finally meet in person, it's always just so amazing. So we met for the first time, and I took a couple of classes from her, one of which being a sweater design class, and it really inspired me to pick up some garment knitting again. And I was just feeling very inspired and very self-assured and confident in what my abilities were and what I could make garments to be. And so I picked out some yarn that I've had in my stash for several years, some Miss Babs, and I cast on the, what is it called? The Cold Breath. And it's a big worsted weight, big cable down the sleeve, big cowl neck, boxy style sweater. Worsted weight, boxy sweater with cables and big, huge cowl neck. Gorgeous, gorgeous sweater. And maybe about a week after I cast that on, I get a text from Hohi, and she says, "Hi, I have this sweater that I think would be perfect for you. It's actually a coat." Not just a sweater, but a coat. And I know that you've just started Cold Breath, but I think that this might be better for your climate, which is basically, hint, hint, huge worsted weight cowl neck sweater, although beautiful, may not be the most practical for you. And this coat cardigan would be better. Okay. So that is also why cold breath has been shoved to the side. But I cast this on. I took the opportunity to make this out of my own hand-dyed yarn, and I have knit quite a bit on it, but there's still a lot to go because it is a sweater coat. And as I mentioned, it is from the New Interpretations Volume 5. The pattern in here is called Rugged Coat. And if you know Hohi's patterns, if you're familiar with her designs, she loves a knitted coat. And we actually laughed. We were walking through the marketplace, and every time at this retreat, and she would see a yarn and say, "I'll take a coat." Like picturing all of the coats that she could make with the various yarns in the marketplace, because that's what she like dreams of. Like that's, you know, other people see a skein and see, oh my gosh, this would make amazing socks. She sees coats, which is so cool. Like that all of us have different brains. So here is Rugged Coat. And let's see, there we go. It is a beautiful cabled, long, pocketed coat. And I, of course, because Hohi knows all, and I said yes, and I started knitting this coat. And it is the most ingenious construction. It is called Rugged Coat because it almost has that, it's finished, but it almost has a little bit of an unfinished quality about it as well. So again, this is my hand-dyed yarn in Cinder, and I am alternating skeins throughout this, you guys. This is probably bits and bobs of about 5 different skeins of yarn, what I'm about to show you. So the great thing about this is it is top down, but you do not have to go back and pick up any stitches for the sleeves. So like this is done. Once it's blocked, it will lay out so nicely, and there's no like button band or anything to pick up. This, it's just finished. And it is shaped, so it kind of does come in. I'm trying to think what else I can say about this. It's like a broken ribbed stitch. You can see there. There is a cable that runs over the shoulder and down the entire front and back of the garment. So you can see the cable detail right here. And I would try this on if I had not a like cuffed sleeve, because it won't give you, well, you know what, I will. It's a coat, and it is a bit, now I'm knitting the same size that Hohi knit, but we are about 4 to 5 inches different in bust size, but it's oversized enough that you'll be able to see. I just want to show you how this is going to lay. So this right here is that. Here's the cable that when this is on properly will be more over my shoulder. This is how this will stay finished. Isn't that beautiful? So it is a drop sleeve. You can see right there that like my underarm is way up here, but this is the sleeve, the bulk of my dress that I'm wearing underneath it. But this is not blocked, and so there's plenty of room for like a rolled up sleeve in here. It's gonna block out and have so much extra fabric. I'm so excited. I absolutely love this. So I have knit about maybe 7 or 8 inches past the sleeve attachment. Because I was a test knitter, sorry, you're gonna stare at this for a while, I guess, while I'm talking. Because I was a test knitter, I told her I would not have time to finish the whole garment, which she understood, thankfully, but that I would do my very best and knit as far as I could and give her as many notes as possible. So what I did was I did all of the construction of the top, because as I said, it is not a standard, I guess, standard construction, at least for me, but I haven't knit very many garments. This was a very new technique to me, but it was beautifully written. And so then I got past that kind of kept knitting straight past the, past the underarms. And then I went ahead and did one sleeve so that I could make sure that the instructions for the sleeve were well written and understandable and that everything made sense. And of course it did. So yes, there was a fashion show at the retreat and I actually wore this coat in the fashion show, and to be honest, I did not want to take it off. It was so cozy. The original is knit out of Madeline Tosh DK, and it was so perfect. We're knitting the same size, and so it is going to be how mine fits. And that just made me so happy because I want it now. I know that I don't have time to knit a coat right now in my life. So that's why I'm working on a nice lightweight shawl. That's why gelato has just sort of been my, at least for this day or two, has been my go-to project. But I know that once I get past my crazy prep of DFW, that this will become my focus project because I desperately want to have this finished and in my wardrobe. It's for this fall. I'm going to live in this, you guys. It's so amazing. And so I'm knitting the medium large. Let me just tell you, because I would say that I'm not a small girl. I am a 40-inch bust on the top, about a 38 to 39 like upper bust, which like underarm measurement, 40 full bust. And I do not have skinny arms at all. And then I just get bigger from there on out. So I was a little concerned when I asked her what size I should knit, and she said, no, knit the medium large. And so that's what I'm doing. And I tried on hers and it fit like a dream. So that just goes to show even more that there is quite a generous difference because it's so oversized. Quite a wide range of body types could fit in this garment. And I saw all of these pieces in person. So for example, like her tunic was so slim, there's no way I could have fit into it. But the coat, I wore the same size she wore. And granted, it will not have as much positive ease as it does on her, but it fit just beautifully. And it was so cozy and I felt beautiful in it. So I guess that's just my note to encourage you to try new things. Do not be afraid of oversized. And also what I would say is I encourage you to take a shirt or a sweater or something, or dress, something that you wear that you feel good in, and measure how, like lay it flat and measure how wide it is from left to right, like right at the underarm level. See what that measurement is. And then you double it to get the circumference of what it is around. I can almost guarantee that you'll be surprised at how much positive ease you wear on a daily basis without even knowing it. I bet you would be surprised. I was flabbergasted. I always looked at garments like the boxy and like other big oversized sweaters where written into the pattern it calls for 16 to 20 inches of positive ease. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But in reality, that's only, 4 to 5 inches on either side. So 4 to 5 inches is like this much, maybe that much. So that's just like from here to here. If I pulled this out, that would be 5 inches of positive ease on this dress. So I don't know. I just say that to really encourage you to take a good, honest look at your clothes and don't be scared by oversized things. So says the person who's never knit a boxy. But I mean, truthfully, I totally wholeheartedly believe in what I say, even though I don't have the time right now to knit anything. So that's it for knitting. And I do have some Hello Lovelies this week. I'm so excited to show you. The marketplace was amazing. And what I will say is that I bought 2 categories of things, books and yarn. I bought the Interpretations Volume 5, and it's lovely. And then I bought issue number 4 of Lina magazine. And I love it. I have all 4 issues. I love them all so much. It is probably a tie. This particular issue, number 1, was by far my favorite. By far, up to now. Like 1, 2, and 3, out of those, number 1 is my favorite. This one's tied with number 1 for sure. There are so many. I would make every single thing in this issue. And I haven't been able to say that about all of the issues. I really, really love this one. So if you're considering it, it's just beautiful laid out. Even though like you're flipping through and then you'll see an ad, and the ads are beautiful. Just everything about it is just stunning. And it smells like paper and books and real tactile things, which I just love. So anyway, so I bought those, and then I bought yarn. I bought hedgehog fibers. Oh, and I bought Woolen Boon. So on my way to the retreat, I stopped at the actual brick and mortar Hill Country Weavers because I just love that store so much. I just have to go in. Oh, and I will say they gave us this little bottle in our swag bag, and I love it. And it says Naturally HCW on it, which is sort of their new, kind of their new branding, new thing. Naturally, they have a lot of natural and undyed and really neat yarns that are under their brand name, and it's fabulous. So I have enjoyed the heck out of this, and I know it's going to get a bunch of use from me because traveling sports mom. So I stopped into the brick and mortar store, like I said, and I knew I was going to be at the marketplace at the thing, and I just had to get these anyway. But I got 3 skeins of Woolen Boon, 3 different colors. They're all on her Skinny, Boon Skinny, which is a single ply fingering weight. This is Woodland. And those speckles, right? Oh my gosh, they just slayed me. This is Buffy. Lots of, I think most of the speckles in this one are underneath the, there we go. And Commando. I feel like I have Commando in her 100% 4-ply fingering weight yarn, and then I got it on the singles because I just love single ply yarn. It has my heart forever and forever. And then there was a hedgehog incident at the marketplace. So I bought this yarn to make a Birds of a Feather. If I'm being totally honest, I have 4 shawl quantities of yarn that I have purchased just to make the Birds of a Feather shawl. I tried one on at the retreat, and it's so beautiful. I have to make it, and I have to make it like 7 times apparently because I love it so much. But this is Skinny Singles in Bramble. So it's kind of got the pinks and the browns and the greens, and then this is Bramble in the Kid Silk lace. And then I got 4 skeins of just random of the skinny singles that I did not have. So this is Wild Card. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's kind of awesome. This is Anemone, which is the exclusive color from Interpretations. This is Fool's Gold. And this is Grass. This is Artifact. So that is what I got at the marketplace. I'm so excited. I just need more hours to knit. Shop news, DFW prep is going gangbusters. There are shawl kits in the shop, and I have a brand new colorway debuting at DFW. I'm so excited to share it with you. It is called Ladybird, and it is a purple, kind of a bluish purple, with lots of orange, kind of bricky orange and green and yellow speckles. And the yellow is highlighter just because I could. And it's called Ladybird because this is sort of my wild homage to the bluebonnets and Indian paintbrush wildflowers that are out this time of year all over Central and Central Texas, but lots of parts of Texas. So Lady Bird Johnson is the first lady who put wildflowers all over Texas many, many decades ago. And they're still here, and we have her to thank for the beautification of our highways and our common spaces. And the bluebonnet is the state flower of Texas. So Lady Bird is the name of the color, and I'm very proud of it and excited. I started a crochet shawl. I wanted to have a crochet sample for my booth at DFW. So I've started a crocheted shawl out of this colorway. And if you're interested in the pattern, I can link it in the show notes. I do not remember what it was called. I'm actually sending this off to the former local yarn shop owner in my area, who is a avid and amazing crocheter and free-form crochet designer. She's quite talented. But she is going to make the sample for me, so I don't have to worry about it. So that's so exciting. But that will be at the booth at DFW. And yeah, so I am just dying all the live long day, and it's a dream. So I think that's it for this week. I hope that you all have a lovely time until I see you again, and I will either be putting videos and pictures of the retreat either at the beginning or maybe at the end, or not sure where they're gonna go, but I hope that you enjoy those, and I'll see you next time. Bye y'all. over here dress up this lady again. She needs to be clothed. There we go.